Okay, so episode 2, I'm creating this one immediately after episode 1, so I've got the same top on, and it means that if there were any comments on the last video, haven't seen them. So if you commented on it, thank you. I have no idea what you said. And there might not have been, you never know. Such a small YouTube channel, who cares? But yeah, in this episode, we're going to talk about the edge that I kind of created, I'll tell you the story behind that, and the backtesting I did. Now, I'm going to say it right now, I am not going to give the exact parameters of my strategy. I'm going to show you what it looks like. I'm going to show you the general idea. There's a few reasons for this. One, simply put, I put a lot of work into refining this. I put, probably well over 100 hours into collecting the data, going through the data to refine it, going back and collecting more data, refining that data, paper trading it, refining it more. There was a lot of work that went into it, and I don't really feel comfortable just putting every single very specific rule I have out there for everyone to see. Second reason is I don't want the edge to disappear. I don't think it would disappear overnight, and that might be a really kind of poor way to look at things. But there is always that possibility. And thirdly, I'm a big believer in everybody should be creating their own edge. Everybody should get to know what their edge looks like and get to know what their edge feels like. So if I just gave you exactly what I had, I don't think you'd go and trade it very well anyway. You'd probably break the rules. You wouldn't really believe in them. You need to do it yourself. You need to get dirty, if you like, with the data. You need to dig in and go like, okay, why is this not working as well as I'd like it to? How can I make it better? What can I remove? What can I put in? And yeah, you should do that all on your own. So I'm going to show you roughly what it looks like. I'll tell you the story behind how I got it, and then I'm just going to show you how I back tested it, the sort of things like the data, the kind of data I collected, so that if you want to take this strategy and go, I want to test it and see if I can make it work, great. But I'm not going to give you, all the ins and outs. So let's jump into what my edge kind of looks like, how it came about. So funnily enough, I didn't actually come up with the edge on my own. I have a friend who I know from outside of trading, and about 6 months ago, he was like, "Hey, by the way, I've started this trading," and I was like, "No way, I trade too." Didn't quite happen like that, but for the sake of this, um, we came together as, oh, we both trade, which is cool. And since then, we've uh, been been chatting a lot about it, and for a while, he showed me the strategies that he was creating. He was fairly new to trading, and I think he'd be the first to say that the strategies he created initially didn't work particularly well, which is fine. That's all part of trading. And that's the beautiful thing about trading. You can go off and create something, see if it works. If it does, great. And if it doesn't, that's great too, because you've learned something. However, about midway through November, maybe a little bit before then, he came to me with a strategy which I had seen before and I knew had potential. And immediately I went, this might actually work, right? From the experience I've got from trading other things, from seeing other successful traders, it made sense that there could be edge there. I'm not going to go too much into the details of why I think there's edge there, but I figured, yeah, this probably does. And I began just eyeballing it. And what I mean by eyeballing it, and this is kind of like the first step you want to do, just go through the chart, scroll through, and go, yeah, that actually shows up here. Yeah, it shows up here. This probably shows up here. And you can get a pretty good idea very quickly as to whether it's going to work or not. And once you've maybe looked at 10 examples where the criteria is met, and you go, yep, that works on 6 of them at least, and I think the risk reward is in our favor, then you begin really backtesting. So the first thing you want to do before you even consider opening a funded account or before you consider trading real money or anything, find an edge and backtest it, refine, or sorry, backtest, or sorry, find an edge, define it, backtest it, refine it, paper trade, and so on. The way you find an edge, and I talk about this in a lot more detail in my new course, The Trading Blueprint, which is essentially designed to take you from somebody who maybe doesn't have a clear edge to trading a very clear edge within a few months or so. Uh, find a way to have a very clean edge. The way to do this, if you're going down the funded account route for futures or Forex or whatever, go on YouTube and find someone who trades futures. Watch what they do. After you've figured out that that's something you want to do, you try out a few different things, by watching, begin to define it, begin to create rules. Like I said, I'm not going to give my exact rules here, but just go roughly what it is. Okay? Once you have that, write them down and backtest. Okay? So this is what my edge looks like. It's fairly simple. What I look for, I'll go based off of today. Because today was the day I got funded, so they obviously worked. I look for a trend line. I look for that trend to break. And like I said, I'm not going to tell you how I necessarily draw the trend lines. I'm not going to tell you exactly what I do for my strategy. Once it breaks the trend line, I enter against the position at the EMA. Okay? That's the basic of the strategy. I'm not going to tell you what the EMA is. I'm not going to tell you the rules for exactly when I enter. I'm not going to tell you any of that kind of stuff because that took me, like I said, well over 100 hours of going back through the data, testing it, refining it. And even if I did tell you, because I'm telling you without you putting the work in, you wouldn't see it as valuable. You probably break the rule anyway. But this is what the edge looks like. It's a trend break. You get short at the moving average, and you profit on this move down here, right? And then if we look at another example, you've got another trend break, and you've got another opportunity to go long. And maybe you want to lead the moving average. Like I said, I'm not going to tell you. Maybe you want to lead it by a few cents or a few ticks. And you have all this move up here. Okay? That is what the edge looks like. It's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. These were the two trades I took today. Didn't exactly look like this, but these are the two trades I took today that got me funded. It's a strategy that works. Now, what I would say is if you're interested in trading this strategy, go onto the ES, go onto the NASDAQ, go onto oil, go onto crypto, go onto Forex, and find a way to make it work for you. I found a way to make it work for me. I found a formula. You could go out and find a formula that has a way bigger edge, or a formula that has the same edge, but just does it differently, which is based more for you. Okay? So that's what the strategy looks like. That's how I came up with the edge. My friend showed it to me, and yeah, we got to that point. How do you then backtest? Pretty simple. You go back through days and you see how it did. So you go, okay, there's a trend line here and it broke. Maybe you get in long here and this one probably didn't work out because there's a long move down. So okay, this one, let's just say it's a loss. Okay, fine. And then you look at the next one, and again, this might not be exactly how I do it. I'm not gonna go into the details of that. And you can say I'm horrible or whatever. This we can go, oh, there was actually a move down on this one, so maybe, maybe you make some profit on this one. Then there's another trend line here, and you go, okay, we've got another long position here. Okay, yeah, this one looks like it's pretty good. So you set your rules. So it might be a case of you go, okay, I'm going to risk to the previous low, and I'm going to target 2 to 1 on that. So this one obviously didn't work. This one, based off those rules wouldn't work. Maybe you could make it work in other ways. This one based off the previous low, yeah, this one looks like it probably got to 2 to 1 pretty comfortably. Okay, so that's your rule. Okay, now you need to go back and back test that. You need to do it 20 times to get an idea if there might be an edge. You need to do it 50 times to be confident there's an edge, and probably 100 times to get somewhat accurate results. I'll show you roughly what my backtesting looks like real quick. What I did was essentially put in the date. I've got some other stuff here, whether it was long or short, the time, the entry, the risk, etc. And then I put in some screenshots. I'll show you how to do this real quick. Essentially, if you want to create a spreadsheet like this, where you can put screenshots in, all you do, you right click in the column, go to insert comment, hover over until you get this 4-pointer, right click, format comment, colors and lines, fill effects, picture, select picture, and then hopefully this is going to come up with just a trading picture, fine, whatever. And you can then pick a picture, and it comes up. Just do it now real quick. Put this one in, fine. And now you have a comment as a picture. So yeah, so it collected data. And the way I did this is I initially backtested the first lot of data that I collected back to like mid-October, maybe even early October. And what I then did was I went on TradingView, and instead of just going over the data, the current data, you can do things like NQZ, I think, 2021, maybe. Someone else is going to have to tell you this, but you can. There you go. So this is the micros, whatever. So you can type in, MNQZ 2021, and now you have the data for December of 2021. So you can now go through and go, oh, and you can do that by putting in the letters. You have to find out what it is for each contract. If you don't know what this is, just go on futures and see how they're sorted. There'll be like CMUZ, I think is Nasdaq. They might not be, or MUQZ or something like that. You put in the ticker, then you put in the letter, and then you put in the year, and you can go back. Now, obviously, futures haven't been around or haven't been very popular up until the last year or so. So going back to 2021, this data's a little bit, a little bit sketchy. It's not so bad actually during market hours. So I could go, okay, I'm trading this from 10 p.m. onwards. Let's find my first trends. Here we go. So this is a clear trend line. We break, we go long. Oh, this one didn't work. What about later on? Maybe you'd have made profit on this, maybe not. Then you have, oh, that's not part of anything I do. You go, oh, here's one here. You go short. This one works, right? I backtested pretty much and got around about 100 data points and found there's an edge here. This is great. I can prove that there is potentially an edge. Once you're at that point, let's bring this back up real quick. Once you're at the point where you have created an edge, whether it's based off of someone else's idea or something you've already got, you've defined it, you've backtested those specific results, and you've got 50 to 100 data points, and you can be certain that there is profit there. That's when you begin to paper trade. You may want to refine it. You may want to go through the data and go, what isn't working? What is working? Look at what is working. Try to find the patterns and the rules in what is working. Maybe add those rules. So maybe it's a case of like, well, every time that it has a false breakout, it works. Every time that the futures are up on the day, it works. When they're down the day, it doesn't. Or it works more often, right? Add that rule, apply it to the whole data set, and you go, oh, I filtered out 20 trades, 15 of them were losses, 5 were winners, and now my results are better. Okay? Do that until you can be certain when you have 70, 100 data points and go, yep, this works. And then you're going to jump into paper trading. Right? And I'm going to just show you real quickly what my paper trading looks like in the next episode. I'm going to talk about refining a little bit more detail. But for now, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait a bit to do episode 3. Maybe wait a few days, certainly after putting up the first one. And I'm going to get more into my personal journey, because so far, like, I've shown you what my edge looks like, showed you how I backtested, but I've also kind of like skirted around it. So I'll go a little bit more into my stuff. But yeah, this was the second episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all of that kind of stuff. And I'll see you again in the next episode. Thanks for watching till the end of the video. Just adding a quick piece in here to let you know what extra services I have to help you become a better trader. On my site, guidedtradingmeditations.com, you can find my new course, The Trading Blueprint, which gives you a full guide on how to create an edge, test it, start trading it, and scale up. There are sections included on how to find the weaknesses in your trading and then how to resolve them, as well as many other bits of information that I've gathered in my years of experience. The aim of the course is to make you a fully independent trader, so you don't need to pay ever-growing monthly fees to be in a chat room. There's no specific edge needed. You can use this in any market with any trading style. If you're at a stage in your trading where you're struggling and would prefer a more in-depth look at your own personal weaknesses and ongoing support, you can also book one-on-one coaching with me on the site. There's a cool breakdown on the screen right now, so pause the video and read through it, and if it's something you're interested in, check it out. There's a ton of other content on the site that I'm really proud of and I've really enjoyed making, so if you're interested, please check it out. I'm sure there'll be something on there that can help your trading. You can reach me on Twitter. My handle is in the description down below. You can send me a DM if you'd like any more information. And make sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date with future videos.